Hey, Shad here with Speed Addicts, the fastest growing gear site on the web, and today we're going to uncrate the AGV K5 S. What's up, SpeedX fan? Before we jump in and uncrate the AGV K5 S, do us both a favor, subscribe to that Speed Addicts channel. It only takes a click, then you're hooked up. You're on the inside line of all the latest gear reviews coming your way. We're always working hard to give you the first look. Subscribe, and that way you don't miss out. Also, if you'd like to support us, you could do so by just shopping at Speed Addicts. It's that easy. Don't give your money to those giant corporations. Shop with speedaddicts.com. Support a family-owned business. We make it real easy. There's a link in the description below. They'll get you right over to the AGV K5 S Helmet. While you're over there, feel free to shop for any other parts or gear you might need for your next two-wheel adventure. The AGV helmet line, it keeps growing. There's quite a few helmets in the range at this point, and their naming syntax is pretty straightforward, right? We start with entry-level K1 helmet and work our way up through the numbers, and this is the K5S. This is actually their highest end helmet that is a traditional full face with a drop-down interior sun visor. Now, they have the sport modular, like full carbon fiber with a modular chin bar that's more expensive and technically higher end, but I really think this is the helmet to get if you can live without a modular chin bar. If you want a full face helmet with a drop down sun visor and a fixed chin bar in that premium range, this should be worth looking at. It's a few $100s less expensive now than some of its Japanese counterparts. You know who I'm talking about. Not inexpensive, $469 to $529. We have a carbon fiberglass construction. The really cool thing, and where AGV has it right with this helmet, is it's significantly lighter than some of those other helmets that I was just alluding to a minute ago. This helmet comes in at 3 pounds, 2 ounces in a size medium, making it very lightweight considering you do have that interior sun visor built into it. Now, when it comes to safety homologations, this helmet's been out for a while. We're not first to a review here. This has been out for a number of years, and we're kind of holding off because this year, in 2023, AGV has been refreshing a lot of its lineup to be compliant with EC 2206, which is that new homologation out of Europe replacing 2205. Well, nothing came with the K5 S yet. There wasn't a refresh yet. So we're going to make this video with the caveat that they might update the 2205 rating on this helmet, which is where it currently stands. Now, what we've heard is that some of the helmets on the market with drop-down visors that were EC 2205 are having a hard time passing the 2206 test and need to be slightly massaged. So I expect either they're going to come up with a whole new design or just a slight running changeover on the K5S coming soon here to make it EC 2205 compliant or 2206 compliant. So we will update you later this year when we know more about that. Okay, of course, if you're buying it in the United States, it's going to be DOT, and at the moment, 2205. 2 shell sizes in this. It runs true, extra small through to extra large. Go by the AGV sizing chart that you see over at speedaddicts.com, and you should be in great shape. No surprises here. Kind of intermediate oval head shape right down the middle, fits great. And again, extremely lightweight. So a lot of the other premium helmets with drop-down visors get a little heavy. Now, when it comes to fit, remember, if you buy your helmets at Speed Addicts, we've got your back covered with no-cost returns. We're not going to nickel and dime you on that return shipping like those corporate moto outfits. We're going to treat you like family. Self-service returns portal, couple clicks. You get a label. You can send it back if you need to. Fit issue, just decide it's not for you. Doesn't matter. As long as you live in the lower 48 states, gear's brand new in original condition, we got your back. It's that easy. Okay, enough with the shameless plugs. Back to the helmet. We're going to start with ventilation, as we always do. Very distinctive AGV styling on these brow vents, very cool. We got the panel vents, swoop those up, and you have the crown intakes fired up. Also, right down the middle, we have another ram air intake. Just a beautiful looking helmet for a sport tour, very sporty, sleek, very AGV-like, very Italian, right? So it's inspired by the pista. You can see those lines running over the back. Just really good looking, whereas a lot of sport touring helmets can look a little bit more utilitarian here. Down on the front, we have chin bar intakes. Again, the styling, the cues, very good looking. These are actuated by a switch on the inside of the chin bar, which I'll show you later once we flip this helmet over, but it gives it a clean look. There's not a big extra switch or anything cheap hanging out here off the front. They even give you this little bumper here out on the front edge of the helmet. We're gonna flip it around in the back and show you the exhaust ports on the K5 S. And again, swooping, stylish, very minimalistic here in the back. And you notice there is a switch there so that you can turn off your rear exhaust. And that's really gonna shut down the helmet nicely, because otherwise, between your ventilation package on the outside of the helmet and the channeled EPS, this thing flows quite a bit of air. And so if you're in cold weather, it's nice that you can shut down not only the front, but you can shut down the back of the helmet and stop that hot air extraction system. Let's go to the face shield here. Now you have multiple detented face shield that is pin lock prepped. You notice the nipples on both sides. We'll show you more on that in a minute, but let's check the detents here. There's not a true locking system like you see on a lot more sport or race focused helmets. You're just gonna lift this up. The pressure of the detent is what's holding that face shield down. But again, at most street speeds, you don't need that big security lock. It's nothing. There's nothing to fight with. It's much more easier to go and lift this helmet up. Now, if you're wondering, or lift the face shield up, if you're wondering what this is about, that is a demist setting. If you pop that up, it's gonna hold the face shield up just a little bit to get you extra airflow. It'll help keep the shield clear and keep your brain from sizzling out there in those hotter temps. And if you want it to turn off, you can just push it down. There you go. It's that easy. Detent check. 1, 2, well, that was kind of 3, 4, one big one up here. So you do have a couple of stops. This is an interesting kind of release here. If you want to take the shield off, you're just gonna, this is like a spring built with the plastic here. You're just gonna push that down, pops right out, that easy. And to put it back into place, I have to look, but you're just gonna push it back in. Oh, well, see, that's what I get for not looking. One more time, there you go. You need that second click. Now it's happy, there it is. Anti-scratch, anti-UV visor in the box, going to be clear. Inside you get that smoked sun visor screen. Pin lock insert included, as it should be, at $400 plus, so you're gonna have that in there. In case you're not familiar, this is a lens that installs inside of your face shield to create a dual pane system and reduce or mitigate fog. If fog's a problem, they got you covered there. Inside, there is that sun visor, and that's gonna be actuated over here on your left, because your right hand is on the throttle, hopefully. And it is kind of a hard push because it's a short lever, but it doesn't feel flimsy. I've seen levers like this before on other helmets to actuate sun visors that gave me pause. I'm like, this is only gonna last about 30 or 40 times. Not here, this thing's pretty stout, but it is all the way closed or all the way open. There's no settings in between, there's no adjustability, which is something we're seeing kind of on some newer helmets. You can adjust that sun visor where it stands. Maybe on the new version they'll do that. And that is it. But it is sturdy, it's gonna stay in place. It doesn't shake around. Lesser helmets with the sun visors, they can bounce if you get on a fire road or something like that. It's annoying, but not here. Great interior sun visor. That does it for the outside of the helmet. Again, good looking lid. It gets good in here too. So outside we got a micro suede finish. Feels premium, feels like it should carry the price tag that it has. You have a big chin curtain here that can be removed if you don't want to run it, you don't want to contend with it. And I'm going to show you, let's see if we can get back in there. There's a switch right here for that chin bar vent that I called out earlier. That's how you actuate that. The helmet is comm system ready, so you're going to see speaker pockets in here when we pull out the liner in a minute. And this is where you're going to mount. You have a nice, pretty flat point after this this little design cue here. You're going to be able to put your communicator right here without a problem. And because they put the location of that sunscreen actuator up here out of the way, there's not a slide or anything to contend with here, which is a good thing. Again, very, very lightweight helmet for a helmet with a drop-down visor. Okay, chin strap here, going with the double D rings. So let's remove these 3D cheek pads. And they did this as a neck roll system, so it's kind of one big piece. If you need to replace that over time, we do have the replacement parts, so no problem there. Okay. Stay with me. There you go. So there is your 3D cheek pad system all in one. There are different size cheek pads that you can get to fit in this. And again, if you mess up the bottom of your neck roll by setting on rough surfaces, you can just replace these a few years into the helmet's life. Again, you got 5 years to ride in a helmet before we recommend replacing it. They've called out that this is eyeglass compatible. They do have a little bit of a relief here to make room for eyeglasses. If you wear them, K5S should not cause you any problems. Of course, different head shapes and different glasses shapes could come into play there. Down below, here's your speaker pocket there, so you can install your comm system. And we'll go ahead and remove this comfort liner so that you can see the whole picture. Multi-density EPS liner that is channeled to extract that hot air. Now, when it comes to comfort liners, they went with the snaps in the forehead. I didn't feel any pressure points. You know, people give me different feedback about that. Some people like that brow snap that wraps around the front of the EPS. I prefer these. They're easier to deal with and take in and out of the helmet. You notice that they have big channels right here. That's where the air is going to be ducted through and escapes on the back there. So there you have the comfort liner. We'll flip this over. See those big forehead slots right there? This thing's going to flow a ton of air. And they didn't just stop the channeling kind of midway through the helmet. They ran it all the way down the back of your head, which is excellent. Way to go, AGV. Again, great sport touring helmet. Someone that wants that drop-down visor, but wants it in style. That Italian style from AGV is very present here. Great ventilation. And my favorite thing about this helmet is just how light it is. It's kind of in a class of its own when it comes to the weight or lack thereof in this class. That does it for the K5S today. You still got questions? Rider Support is always standing by to help you out. You can talk to a human over at Speed Addicts, live chat, phones, email, whatever you need, we got you covered. In the comment section below, if you got a K5S already, let us know how you like it. That does it for today. We'll see you next time to find out what's in the crate.